Welcome to Storytime, my starry-eyed listeners. Tonight, we're venturing into a tale called The Silent Heist of the Nebula Crown. Get cozy, let your mind drift, and join us for a suspenseful journey. Don't forget to like, subscribe, and float away with us here on Storytime. In the far reaches of the galaxy, where stars hummed lullabies and planets spun in slow, sleepy orbits, there stood the Celestial Court. It wasn't a place of stone or steel, but a shimmering palace woven from light and dust, suspended in the violet haze of the Orion Veil. Here, the Council of Luminaries ruled, a group of ancient beings, their voices soft as whispers, their eyes glowing with the wisdom of eons. At the heart of their court rested the Nebula Crown, a circlet of stardust and crystal that pulsed with a rhythm older than time itself. It was said to hold the power to calm the wildest cosmic storms, or awaken them. And it was missing. The theft was discovered on a night when the moons of Viones aligned, casting a silver glow across the court. Keeper Solon, a tall figure draped in robes of twilight blue, noticed first. The pedestal where the crown sat was bare, its faint shimmer gone. A hush fell over the council, their murmurs blending into a sound like wind over water. Suspense rippled through the palace. Who could steal from the luminaries, beings who saw through galaxies? Solon's voice, smooth and low, broke the silence. We must find it before the equinox tide. Without the crown, the storms will rage. Word of the heist reached Zara, a wanderer who drifted between worlds in a ship patched with meteor scraps. She wasn't a thief by trade, but her knack for unraveling mysteries had earned her a reputation. Her ship, the Duskwing, hummed softly as she sipped a warm drink, something brewed from lunar petals and stardust. It scent heavy and soothing. The message came through a flickering hologram. Zara, the Nebula Crown is gone. Help us. It was unsigned, but the voice was Solon's, laced with a quiet urgency that made her eyelids droop even as her curiosity stirred. She set course for the Orion Veil, the Duskwing gliding through nebulae that glowed like lanterns in a foggy night. The journey was long, the hum of the engines a steady drone that wrapped around her like a blanket. She leaned back, the suspense of the mission tugging at her mind. Who could breach the Celestial Court? Pirates bold enough to raid starships, maybe, or a rogue luminary with a grudge. Her thoughts blurred, the drink's warmth sinking into her bones, but she shook herself awake. The crown's power was no fable. She'd seen storms tear moons apart. She had to find it. The court loomed ahead, its light soft and inviting. Zara docked, her boots echoing on the glassy floor as she stepped into the palace. Solon met her, his presence calming yet edged with tension. The crown vanished 3 nights ago, he said, leading her to the pedestal. No alarms, no trace, just silence. Zara knelt, running her fingers over the smooth surface. A faint scent lingered, something sharp, like ozone after a lightning strike. This wasn't brute force, she murmured. It's too clean. The council gathered, their glowing eyes fixed on her. Elder Lyra, her voice a gentle chime, spoke next. The crown has a will. It hums to those it trusts. Perhaps it chose to leave. Zara frowned, the idea settling like a heavy fog. A sentient crown? The suspense deepened. What if it wasn't stolen, but had fled? She asked to see the court's archives, a vast chamber where holograms of past councils flickered like fireflies. The air was thick with dust and quiet, each breath pulling her closer to sleep. She fought it, scanning records of the crown's history. It had been forged by a forgotten star, a princess of the cosmos who'd ruled a court of her own. Her reign ended in a caper, a betrayal by her own guard, who'd sought the crown's power. The story felt familiar, a distant echo of the present. Zara's eyelids grew heavy, the holograms blurring into a soft glow. She saw it then, a figure slipping through shadows, the crown pulsing in their hands. A dream, or a clue? She woke with a start, Solon at her side. What did you see? He asked, his voice a lullaby. A thief, she said, rubbing her temples. But not one of yours. She followed the ozone scent, faint but persistent, to a balcony overlooking the Vale. Below, a shimmer caught her eye, a cloaked ship, barely visible against the mist. The suspense tightened. She signaled the Duskwing, its engines purring as it descended. "Take me down," she told Solon. He hesitated, then nodded. "Be wary. The Crown's song can drown you." The chase began, slow and dreamlike. The cloaked ship wove through asteroid fields, its pilot skilled but reckless. Zara's hands moved over the controls, her movements sluggish from the archive's haze. The Duskwing hummed, its rhythm syncing with her heartbeat. She glimpsed the thief, a figure in black, the Crown's light spilling from a satchel. "Who are you?" she muttered, firing a tracking pulse. It hit, and the ship faltered, drifting toward a moon's orbit. She boarded, the airlock hissing softly. The thief stood in a cockpit lit by starlight, the Crown on a console. Up close, she saw their face, a woman with eyes like dying embers. "You're not a luminary," Zara said, her voice thick with fatigue. The woman smirked. "I'm Kale, a shadow of the old court. The Crown called me." Zara stepped closer, the suspense coiling. "It's not yours." Kale's hand hovered over a switch. "Nor theirs. It's waking something, feel it?" The Crown pulsed, its hum filling the ship. Zara's knees buckled, the sound wrapping around her like a warm tide. She saw flashes, a storm brewing, planets trembling, the princess's guard laughing in triumph. Kale lunged, but Zara caught her wrist, the motion slow as if underwater. "You can't control it," she whispered, shoving Kale back. The Crown's light flared, and the ship rocked, throwing them both to the floor. Solon's voice crackled through her calm. "Zara, the tide's rising. Bring it now." She grabbed the Crown, its weight pulling her deeper into drowsiness. Kale groaned, reaching, but Zara stumbled to the Duskwing. The hum grew louder, a lullaby of chaos. She flew back, the court's light guiding her through the mist. The storm was visible now, swirling clouds of violet and gold, crackling with energy. She handed the Crown to Solon, her vision swimming. "It's waking," she said. The luminaries chanted, their voices weaving the hum into silence. The storm calmed, the Crown dimming on its pedestal. Solon turned to her. "You heard it too?" Zara nodded, sinking into a chair. "It's still dreaming." Kale's ship was gone, vanished into the Vale. The suspense lingered. Had she escaped, or had the Crown let her go? Zara closed her eyes, the Duskwing's hum carrying her to sleep. The galaxy spun on, quiet for now. And there ends the silent heist of the Nebula Crown, my cosmic dreamers. I hope it's tucked you into a sleepy orbit of your own. If you loved this tale, hit that thumbs up, subscribe to Storytime, and join us next time for more starry stories. Rest well from Storytime.
Thanks for your time. Please subscribe. Don't forget to press the bell icon for more.